It was supposed to be the best night of my life, my 32nd birthday, and I was standing in the center of Le Ciel, one of Los Angeles' most exclusive rooftop restaurants. The kind of place where the view sparkled like a movie scene, and reservations took months. I'd spent weeks planning every detail, the soft jazz trio, the candlelight shimmer bouncing off the glass walls, the hand-picked tasting menu. But none of that mattered anymore. Because right then, with champagne still bubbling in crystal flutes, a glass of red wine splashed across my silver gown. My cousin's laughter cut through the silence like a knife. "Oops," she said, her smirk twisting. "Guess even money can't buy class." Gasps rippled through the room. I felt the chill of liquid soaking into silk, the sting of humiliation burning through my chest. My aunt chuckled softly. My mother's lips pressed into that familiar, disappointed line, and just like that, the night I'd dreamed about turned into the nightmare I'd never forget. If you're watching this, don't forget to hit that like button, because trust me, you're not going to believe what happened next. My name's Isabella Reed, and for most of my life, I've been the responsible one. The one who fixed things, paid bills, showed up, even when nobody else did. Growing up in a tiny Oregon town, I was the quiet kid who got straight A's, while my sister Vanessa chased parties and popularity. Our mom always said we balanced each other out. Me the brains, her the fun. But as we got older, that balance started to feel like a curse. Vanessa stayed home, bouncing between short-lived jobs and boyfriends. I left for college, worked my tail off, and built a career in digital marketing. I made it to LA, landed a position at a major agency, and clawed my way up to creative director. Every promotion, every late night, it all paid off. By 30, I had my dream apartment downtown, a white Tesla in the garage, and a view of the skyline that reminded me of everything I'd fought for. But success, I learned, doesn't always earn you respect, especially not from family. Vanessa was always struggling. Every time her rent was due, I got the same text. "Just this once, Izzy. You know I'll pay you back." Spoiler, she never did. When her daughter Lila turned 16, I even bought her a used car to help her get to school. I told myself it was love, but deep down it was guilt. Guilt for being the one who got out. My mom didn't make it easier. She'd sigh whenever I talked about work. "Money's not everything, sweetheart. Vanessa just needs time to find herself." Meanwhile, I was footing her bills, her emergencies, her everything. So when my 32nd birthday came around, I decided it was time for a new chapter, one where I celebrated me. I booked the rooftop at Le Ciel. I picked out a silver silk gown from a Beverly Hills boutique that made me feel unstoppable. When the stylist asked, "Big date?" I smiled and said, "No, big life." My friends were thrilled. Marcus, my best friend from college, Taylor, my work confidant, and Liam, my neighbor who'd become like a brother. They offered to help with decor and music, but I wanted to handle everything myself. This night was my gift to me. Inviting my family was the hard part. When I called Mom, her tone was clipped. "LA on a Friday night? That's a long drive, Izzy." "I'll send a car," I said, forcing cheer. "It's my birthday. Please come." "I'll see what Vanessa's schedule is like," she replied flatly. Vanessa's answer came 10 minutes later in a text. "That place looks insane." "You trying to impress someone?" I typed back, "Just celebrating with family." Her reply, "Lila's gonna need a new outfit if we're going to some fancy place." I stared at my screen for a long time before typing, "I'll send something for that too," and I did, because that's who I was, the fixer. The morning of my birthday, I woke up to sunlight pouring across my white marble countertops. I'd booked a full spa day, followed by a blowout at a luxury salon in West Hollywood. When I looked in the mirror that evening, soft waves, flawless makeup, that silver gown hugging every curve, I barely recognized myself. For once, I felt like the main character in my own story. At the restaurant, the staff greeted me like royalty. "Happy birthday, Ms. Reed," the host said, leading me to the private terrace I'd reserved. Fairy lights glowed above the skyline. My friends arrived first, bringing hugs, laughter, and thoughtful gifts. A handwritten journal, a framed photo from our college days, a bottle of aged wine. We laughed until my cheeks hurt. For a while, I forgot my nerves about my family. But when 7 came and went, they still weren't there. Taylor noticed me checking my phone. "Traffic, maybe?" she asked gently. "Yeah," I said, forcing a smile. "They'll be here." By 7:30, the smile was starting to hurt. Finally, at 7:45, the elevator doors opened, and there they were, my mom, in her old floral dress. Vanessa, irritated as always, and Lila, 17, wearing a glittery crop top and ripped jeans that screamed rebellion. Traffic was insane, Mom muttered, not meeting my eyes. The maitre d' scrambled to reset their places. The laughter at our table dimmed. I rose to greet them, arms open. "I'm so glad you made it." Lila shrugged, eyes glued to her phone. Vanessa gave me a once-over, her lips twitching. "Wow," she said. "You really went all out, huh? Didn't know birthdays came with dress codes." I smiled through it. It's a special night. The first course arrived, delicate scallops in citrus glaze. My friends chatted, trying to include my family. Marcus complimented Lila's hair. Taylor asked Vanessa about her new job, but their answers were clipped, defensive. The warmth faded. As the night went on, I felt the tension coil tighter. Every laugh from my friends seemed to make my family colder. Every mention of my job, my apartment, my trips, I could feel Vanessa's eyes roll. Still, I kept hoping. Hoping this night would be different. That maybe, just maybe, they'd finally see me, not as their bank account, but as their daughter, sister, aunt. I was wrong. And when dessert came, I learned just how cruel family can be. Dessert was supposed to be the moment everything came together. A molten chocolate soufflé with gold flakes, presented on a white plate that shimmered in the candlelight. The waiter carried it out with a small sparkler, the flame flickering as everyone around us clapped. For a second, my heart soared. Maybe, just maybe, this was the turning point. I smiled at my family, hoping to bridge the gap. "I'm really glad you're all here," I said. "It means a lot to me." Lila finally looked up from her phone. "You actually eat this stuff?" she said, wrinkling her nose. "It looks like dirt in a cup." A few people nearby laughed nervously. I felt my cheeks heat. Vanessa smirked. "She's just being honest. We're not used to this fancy 5-star nonsense, Izzy." "It's not nonsense," I said, trying to keep my tone light. "It's a celebration. Of what?" She shot back. "Your job? Your apartment? Your perfect life?" The table went quiet. Even the music seemed to fade. Marcus reached out gently. "Vanessa, we're just here to celebrate Isabella." She cut him off with a sharp laugh. "Celebrate what? Her showing off? You think this is normal, Marcus? Real people don't drop thousands on a dinner just to make everyone else feel small." I swallowed hard. "That's not what this is." Mom cleared her throat, her voice clipped. "She means well, Izzy. You always did have expensive tastes. The same old phrase. The same old sting." Taylor shifted in her seat. "There's nothing wrong with treating yourself." "She worked hard for this." Lila let out a snort. "Worked hard doing what? Posting on Instagram." The table froze. I blinked at her. "Excuse me?" "You know," she said, leaning back with a grin. "Taking pictures of your food and pretending life's perfect. Guess you have to make people believe it, right?" Vanessa laughed, a low, cruel sound that twisted in my chest. "Lila," I said softly, "I've helped pay for your dance classes, your car." "Yeah, the car you said was mine," she snapped. "You think buying people stuff makes you better than them?" Her words hit like slaps. "I never said that," I whispered. "I just wanted to help." Vanessa folded her arms. "Help or control? Same thing with you, Izzy. You throw money at people, then expect them to worship you for it." I could feel my friend's eyes on me, protective, stunned. But I didn't want a scene, not here. Not tonight. I forced a shaky smile. "Let's not do this. It's my birthday. Can we just..." That's when it happened. Lila picked up her glass of red wine, deep crimson under the candlelight, and tilted it in my direction. "You want a toast?" she said, voice dripping with sarcasm. "Here's to Aunt Izzy, who thinks money buys love." Before anyone could move, she flung the wine straight at me. The liquid hit like fire, soaking my dress, my skin, my pride. Gasps erupted around us. The waiter froze mid-step. My silver gown turned blood red in seconds. "Now you look as fake as you really are," she spat, her voice loud enough for the whole terrace to hear. Vanessa didn't stop her. She didn't even look sorry. She just leaned back and muttered, "We told you this was too much." My mom placed a hand on Lila's arm like she was comforting her. "Sweetheart, calm down." I sat there, shaking, drenched in wine, every eye in the restaurant on me. Marcus stood, his voice sharp. "That's enough," but I raised my hand. "Don't," I whispered. "Please." Because in that moment I realized I wasn't crying because they embarrassed me. I was crying because I'd let them keep doing it for years. They stood to leave. Vanessa grabbed her purse. Lila rolled her eyes, already back on her phone. My mom gave me a pitying look that made my stomach twist. "Family doesn't turn their back, Izzy," she said quietly, "but you made it hard to love you tonight." And then they walked out. I sat in that glittering room, dripping and humiliated, surrounded by people pretending not to stare. Taylor rushed to my side, napkins in hand. "Oh my God, Izzy, I'm so sorry." I shook my head, forcing a hollow laugh. "Guess the party's over." Marcus knelt beside me, his eyes burning with anger. "You don't deserve this." "I know," I said softly, my voice trembling. But I let it happen. We left soon after, the staff whispering apologies I could barely hear. The elevator ride down felt endless. Every reflection in the mirrored walls a reminder of how far I'd fallen. By the time we reached my apartment, the adrenaline had faded, replaced by numb silence. Taylor helped me out of my ruined dress, while Marcus poured a glass of water I couldn't bring myself to drink. When they left, I sat on the couch staring at the crumpled gown on the floor, a $2,000 symbol of everything I'd lost trying to win people who never wanted me to succeed. My phone buzzed, a notification from Instagram.LilaReed17. Rich auntie finally got what she deserved. High reality check, sorry not sorry, I froze. There, clear as day, was a photo of me. Mid-shock, drenched in red wine, my expression raw. My mom had liked the post. Vanessa commented a laughing emoji. My stomach dropped. The pain wasn't physical anymore. It was something worse. Betrayal that burned straight through my bones. I felt the tears spill before I could stop them. But beneath the heartbreak, something else stirred. Anger. A cold, focused kind of anger that replaced the ache with clarity. For the first time in years, I wasn't the fixer. I wasn't the quiet one who paid their bills and smiled through their cruelty. That night, still wearing the stains of their mockery, I made a promise to myself. They wanted to humiliate me? Fine. But I'd show them what it really meant to lose someone who held their world together. And when I did, they'd regret every single drop of wine that hit my skin. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw it. The flash of red wine, the laughter, the camera flash. My niece's smirk. My mother's approval. By morning, my dress was a heap of ruined silk on the floor. The humiliation from that night still clung to me like a second skin. But beneath the shame, something inside me had shifted. I walked to the bathroom mirror, looked at my reflection. Puffy eyes, red blotches, but also clarity. For years, I'd been the provider, the peacekeeper, the emotional punching bag, but not anymore. That morning, still in my robe, I opened my laptop and pulled up my banking app. The numbers didn't lie. Over $70,000 in loans to Vanessa. Thousands more charged to the joint credit card I'd let her use for emergencies. And Lila's car, registered under my name, insured under my account. Each transaction was like a breadcrumb trail of my mistakes. Every dollar had been a piece of my self-worth I'd handed over, hoping it would buy their love. Not anymore. My hands didn't shake when I called the bank. "Hi, this is Isabella Reed. I need to remove an authorized user from my account and issue a replacement card immediately." The woman on the phone confirmed it calmly. "You'll receive your new card in 3 business days, Ms. Reed." 3 business days. That's how long it would take to start reclaiming my life. Next, I called the towing company. "I need a vehicle retrieved," I said. "Registered in my name. The driver is not authorized to keep it." They assured me it'd be handled discreetly. Then I texted Marcus. "Taking care of it. No more pity parties." His reply came fast. "Good. It's about time you put yourself first." By noon, I felt lighter. Not happy yet, but free. At exactly 1:17 p.m., my phone lit up. Vanessa. My cards declined. What's going on? Lila. "Aunt Izzy, someone took my car."
Always?
Mom. "Sweetheart, why are you doing this? Family doesn't cut each other off." I stared at their messages. Then, for the first time ever, I didn't respond right away. When I finally did, I kept it short. The card and car were mine. "I'm done funding your lifestyle. We'll talk later. In person." Their replies were instant. Angry. Manipulative. "You're heartless. You're trying to punish us. We're family," but I'd heard it all before. This time, I didn't bite. That evening, I made dinner for myself. Nothing fancy, just pasta and wine. I put on music, opened the windows, and let the city lights pour in. The silence that filled my apartment wasn't loneliness. It was peace. The next day, I called my friend Thomas, a lawyer who'd helped me once before with a work contract. "Thomas, I need your help," I said. "I want to legally reclaim my car and document all the funds I've given my family." He paused. "You ready for this, Izzy? It's gonna get messy." "I'm already living in the mess," I said quietly. "I just want to clean it up," he chuckled softly. "Then let's get started." By the weekend, the paperwork was in motion. Every cent I'd transferred to Vanessa, every Cash App payment, every credit card charge, all neatly listed. It wasn't about revenge. It was about boundaries. But deep down, I knew it would feel like revenge when they realized I wasn't their safety net anymore. When Sunday came, I texted them all. "Come to my place at 3, we need to talk." The knock on my door came at 3:15 sharp. Vanessa stormed in first, eyes blazing. "You had Lila's car towed? Are you insane?" Behind her, Lila looked pale, mascara smudged. My mom followed last, clutching her purse like a prop in a sad play. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I'd rehearsed this moment in my head too many times. "Sit," I said, motioning to the dining table. Vanessa folded her arms. "I'm not staying long. Just give Lila her car back and we'll go." I laid a stack of papers in front of them. Printouts of transactions, bank statements, screenshots of Instagram posts. "This," I said evenly, "is every dollar I've given you in the past 5 years. On $12,000, plus the car." Vanessa blinked. "What is this, some guilt trip?" "No," I said. "It's accountability." I turned to Lila. "You filmed me that night. You posted it online. You mocked me in front of strangers." Her face flushed. "It was just a joke." "No, it wasn't." My voice stayed calm. "It was cruelty. You humiliated someone who's done nothing but love you." My mom reached for my hand. "She's just a kid, Izzy." "She's 17, I said, voice cracking but steady. "Old enough to know right from wrong," Vanessa scoffed. "So what now? You're cutting us off?" "Yes," I said simply. "No more money. No more cards. No more bailouts." My mom's eyes filled with tears. "We're family. You can't just—" "I can," I said softly. "And I am." The room went still. Vanessa looked at me like she didn't recognize me. "You think you're better than us now, don't you?" I shook my head. "No. I think I finally love myself enough to stop being your doormat." Lila wiped her eyes. "How am I supposed to get to school? Or dance?" I hesitated, then said, "You'll figure it out." I did. Vanessa stood abruptly, knocking her chair back. "You'll regret this, Izzy. Don't think you can just walk away from family." I met her glare. "Watch me." When they left, slamming the door behind them, the silence that followed wasn't sad. It was cleansing. For the first time in years, I felt light, whole, untethered. I poured myself a glass of wine, white this time, and stood by the window, watching the city lights flicker below. This wasn't the ending I'd once dreamed of. where they finally loved and respected me. It was better. It was the beginning of me finally respecting myself. The morning after they left, I woke up to a quiet I hadn't heard in years. No frantic calls. No emergencies. Just sunlight spilling across my bed and the sound of the city waking up outside. For the first time in forever, I wasn't dreading my phone. It still buzzed, of course. Vanessa left angry voicemails. My mom sent guilt-soaked texts. "She's your sister, Isabella. You can't just abandon her." And Lila, poor Lila, sent apology emojis that said everything and nothing at the same time. But I didn't reply. Not yet. I spent those first weeks doing something I'd forgotten how to do. Living for myself. I signed up for a photography class downtown, something I'd dreamed of for years but never made time for. I started running again, headphones in, losing myself in the rhythm of my breath instead of someone else's crisis. I bought myself flowers every Sunday, not because anyone would see them, just because I deserved them. And every night before bed, I'd write in a little leather journal Amara had given me. What did I do for myself today? Some days it was as simple as saying no without guilt. Other days it was ignoring another manipulative text. Freedom didn't come easy. It came in waves, small defiant ones. 3 weeks later, the first real silence came. No texts, no calls. I thought maybe they'd finally moved on. Then one afternoon, a number I knew by heart popped up on my screen. "Mom." I hesitated before answering. "Hi, Mom." Her voice was tight, tired. "Vanessa's struggling. Rent's due. She might lose her place." I closed my eyes, exhaled slowly. "I'm sorry to hear that." "You could help her, Izzy, just this once." "Mom," I said softly. "I've helped her for 5 years. This is her just once to figure it out herself." There was a pause. Then a sigh. "You sound so cold." "No," I said. "I sound free." She hung up after that, and for a while I wondered if I'd gone too far. But deep down I knew, sometimes love looks like distance. Months passed. Autumn rolled in, painting the city gold. I kept busy. Work, classes, small adventures. I traveled solo for the first time. 3 days in Santa Fe, camera in hand, just me in the open road. It was everything I didn't know I needed. One evening, as I edited photos in a cozy cafe, my phone buzzed. Lila, "Hey, just wanted to say I got a job. At the mall. Saving up for a car. Not asking for anything. Just wanted you to know." I smiled at the screen. My heart softened. "I'm proud of you." That's huge. No judgment. No lecture. Just love. Healthy love. It was small, but it was the start of something new. Vanessa took longer. I heard through my mom that she'd been evicted, crashed with a friend, then finally found work at an insurance office. The old Vanessa would have called me crying, blaming everyone but herself. But months passed in silence, until one cold February morning she texted, "Vanessa. Got a job. Not glamorous, but stable. I get it now." That single line hit harder than I expected. I typed back, "Me, proud of you too. Stability looks good on you," she replied with a single emoji, the kind that meant more than words. By spring, things were different. My mom had stopped calling to guilt me. Instead, she started asking questions about my job, my travels, my classes. At first, her voice still carried old habits, comparing, apologizing for Vanessa, praising struggle instead of growth. But slowly, she started listening. One Sunday dinner, as we sat at her kitchen table, she reached across and took my hand. "I failed you, Isabella," she said softly. "I leaned on you when I should have lifted you. I made you the parent." My throat tightened. "It's okay, Mom," I whispered. "We all did what we had to do." "No," she said, shaking her head. "You did more. And I'm sorry. It wasn't perfect, but it was real." By summer, our family dinners had become something new. Honest, imperfect, peaceful. Lila helped cook. Vanessa brought wine. Mom made her famous lasagna. No guilt, no power plays, just people trying again. At one of those dinners, Lila pulled me aside in the backyard, where fireflies danced in the dusk. I'm sorry, she said quietly. For what I did at your birthday. For that video. For everything. I looked at her. Really looked at her. She wasn't the angry teen from before. She was growing up. I was jealous, she continued. I thought your life was easy. I didn't see how hard you worked for it. I smiled, tears welling up. It was never easy, kiddo, but I'm proud of you for figuring that out. She nodded, then grinned shyly. So, that college fund you mentioned? Is it really gone? I laughed. No, it's still there. Always was. But it's for your education, nothing else. She threw her arms around me. Thank you. And for the first time, it wasn't about the money. It was about trust. A few weeks later, Vanessa asked me to lunch. I half expected another guilt trip, but she surprised me. I hated you, she admitted over coffee. For being successful, for having it together. I told myself you were lucky. Not that you earned it, I met her eyes. And now? She smiled faintly. Now I'm just trying to earn my own. It wasn't forgiveness. It was understanding, and that was enough. When my 35th birthday came, I almost skipped celebrating. The memory of last year still stung, the red stain, the silence, the heartbreak. But Marcus said, "Don't let them steal your joy twice." So I didn't. This time, I hosted dinner at my mom's house. Small, simple, real. Homemade food. Laughter that didn't feel forced. Lila handed me a handmade card. Inside, she'd written, "Thank you for not giving up on us, even when we didn't deserve it." Vanessa's gift was a scarf. Inexpensive, but chosen with care. Mom's toast was shaky, her eyes wet. "To Isabella," she said, raising her glass, "who taught us what family really means. I'm so proud of you." The table erupted in cheers, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like the outsider. I felt home. As we cleared the plates, Lila slipped me an envelope. "For your next trip," she said. Inside were a few crisp bills, $150 she'd saved from her job. "It's not much," she said, blushing. But I wanted to show I get it now. I hugged her tight, tears streaming down my face. "It's everything, Lila." Driving home that night, I looked out at the city, lights flickering, life moving. A year ago, I'd thought losing my family was the worst thing that could happen. Turns out, it was how I found them, and myself. Sometimes setting boundaries doesn't end relationships. It rebuilds them, stronger, cleaner, real. So if you've ever had to choose between peace and people who drain it from you, choose peace. Every single time. Because love without respect isn't love at all. You know, for the longest time I thought love meant giving everything. Your time, your money, your peace, until there's nothing left of you to give. But I learned something this year. Real love isn't measured by how much pain you're willing to carry for someone. It's measured by how much truth you're willing to stand in, even when it hurts. Setting boundaries doesn't make you cold. It makes you awake. It's saying, I still love you, but I love myself, too. And that's the kind of love that lasts. So if you're watching this right now, and you're tired of begging people to treat you right, stop shrinking for them. Stop apologizing for your worth. Because sometimes, walking away isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of you. Music swells softly. Beat of silence. If this hit home, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs the reminder. You don't owe anyone your peace. I'm Isabella. And this was the story of how I finally learned to choose myself.